Vatanumsi sarangulo ilkina yakanabi. Tutan si dagana sankusati. Isa hada sana dushu mananusan ya yang kudamini siam.
In the developing world, education is closely linked with the quality of life. If people can read and write, they are better able to learn new methods of sanitation, nutrition, healthcare, or new farming techniques. If a girl has even 4 years of school, her children will be twice as likely to survive infancy. How can education be more accessible, make best use of available resources, and be relevant? One organization seeking to answer this question is the Aga Khan Education Services. The Aga Khan Education Services, or AKES, was started in the late 19th century by Sir Sultan Mahomed Shah Aga Khan, who opened schools in India and East Africa. His grandson, the present Aga Khan, began expanding the size and scope of the system in the late 1950s. It now forms part of the educational fabric of a number of developing countries. Today, AKES is facing new challenges, from bringing education to rural children, to the introduction of new technology, to providing education for women. Hidden in the mountains of northern Pakistan are some of the most isolated communities on earth. Per capita income is only $150 a year, and the infant mortality rate is among the highest in the world. Farmland is scarce, and most families scratch out a living on less than 2 acres of rocky ground. Bibi Hayat is 60 years old and illiterate. She never had a chance to go to school.
Damuto ku amshik mudwa shawan sabaka ku jamaate tin sewa je zamindari ulo dawa samaga sabakan atana so mani biar zamana Thailand bilum sabak mimi me gatan shayo man mi etula pim sukulan etu waktu laki karbara na pim kaman men hinaltana gataibam eteulo kisi si we etu wakte hinaltana gatana gusgial damana phatu manan etulo.
Nearly 500,000 women live in the northern areas of Pakistan, and less than 3% of them can read and write. Mataban, Bibi Hayat's granddaughter, is one of the few who can. In the northern areas, the government isn't able to provide education for girls. Mataban goes to an Aga Khan Diamond Jubilee School, one of 117, which are helping to correct this imbalance in the educational opportunity for girls. This school was opened at a time when there was little appreciation for the importance of female education. But today, things are changing, and a growing demand for female education is straining the school's facilities. Mataban's school has only 3 classrooms for 300 students. Some have to sit outside on the cold ground. In their determination to learn, some children write their lessons on slabs of wood with sticks and mud. Villagers are well aware of the need for better facilities. Throughout the northern areas, parents are volunteering to build a network of new schools for their daughters. Roof raising is a time for celebration. In the AKES self-help school construction program, villagers supply labor and wood, sand and bricks. The Aga Khan network provides technical expertise and materials which are not available locally. Despite philosophical differences, everyone is cooperating to build the new school.
كيسم بيدا تاورم جاكو سجاسات يوم خراب بنمي دا قلت بديمي قلت ديم سميلي جاجي كي ذات دواش نجا عريني كي ذات دواش بدا قوم قسمتي سيسم كاك شوك قوم كشوا مناز كي جاك انت ستتنجي شلو مي غلاني ولو جيبتار بمسي سيارة ويون هلان تدوس من هذا تاكي ماني نسان وقت أيو هرن هنا أي أنا بشاي كده علم التاكي هقول سيام قوم هقول سيام.
One of the system's distinguishing features is its core of volunteers. Tens of thousands of men and women are involved.
Within the Imamate institutions, we are very fortunate indeed to have such extensive voluntary support. And I think that very often when one thinks of voluntary support, there is a sense of help from people who are not necessarily qualified or who bring sophisticated reflection to what they do. In our case, I would say that it isn't the situation. The voluntary service that we get covers an enormous span of support, from individuals who help building schools in rural areas, to people who help the poor and the sick, to people who contribute to some of the most sophisticated planning processes that we have.
I'm happy to report to the board that the work was done within the time frame that was given to us.
So the voluntary support that is given covers practically every aspect of our network of activities.
Throughout the developing world, the poor quality of teaching is a major problem. In the northern areas, more than 50% of all teachers haven't had any training. With support from the Aga Khan Foundation and the government of Pakistan, the Aga Khan Education Services has started an innovative program in on-the-job training of uncertified teachers. They practice the new methods in an environment similar to the one in which they actually teach. They also study the theory of education, child psychology, and school administration.
जबकि पहले हम सिर्फ किताब हाथ में लेके बच्चों से किताब में ही हम पढ़वाते थे कि ये मकनातीस है और लोहे और फौलाद की चीज़ों को अपनी तरफ खींचती है। तो आज जो मैंने लेसन दी इसमें मैंने मकनातीस लाई थी, वो लाई थी और गैर मकनातीसी अशिया लाई थी, तो बच्चों ने अपने आँखों से वो देखा और उनकी जो है जल्दी सीख गए उस सबक से मेरी तरफ लाए।
The program is being expanded to government schools and to other areas of Pakistan. The standard for female education in the northern areas has been set by the Aga Khan School in Sharkila.
Hands up. Fold your arms. Wash your hands. I am washing my hands. I am combing my hairs.
The curriculum includes English, Urdu, mathematics, art and history. Special attention is placed upon science.
Since this school has been started, no father wants to take his daughter away, even if she fails. The girls used to be married off around the age of 14, 15. But now every girl wants to complete her matriculation before she settles down. The parents also feel she must pass her matric before she gets married.
लड़कियों की यहाँ तालीम की वजह से हमारा घर में काफ़ी कुछ फ़र्क आ गया है तो सफाई सिखाते हैं खाने पीने में कुछ फ़र्क सिखाते हैं उड़ना बैठने में कुछ सिखाते हैं तो इससे हमें बहुत फ़ायदे मिला है तो बहुत हम इससे बहुत खुश हैं और बहुत शौक़ से इधर अपने बच्चियों को भेजते हैं और शौक़ से पढ़ाते हैं.
The education of women is critical. Without it, how will these communities have the teachers, nurses, and lady doctors which they so desperately need? The new Aga Khan Academy in Karimabad provides girls in the northern areas with an opportunity they never had before to complete their high school education. And Matabad? What does the future hold for her?
मैं उम्र 11 साल हम मस 5 परमानी उसने दांटे डॉक्टरी बात सही नट यही पशीत ने मस यही पशीत आवे विनिस डॉक्टर आने बुका तो ने को में खिदमत में.
With the support of governments, the Aga Khan Foundation and other international agencies, the Aga Khan Education Services operates a network of over 300 institutions and programs throughout the developing world. Its programs are open to all. Total enrollment exceeds 50,000 students, from preschool to university.
We see the importance of the economic dimension of education, but we don't accept that as the full story. We see that we must make it relevant to the lives and the environment that people are living in. And I don't think it's possible just to reduce that to the creation of jobs. But I think it's important that if we look at it economically, to see that we're trying to achieve a mix of learning, of knowledge, skills, attitudes, that enables those persons to maximize the benefits from their own environment, to reduce their dependency, but without destroying their social, their cultural, and their religious roots.
Ofafa Jericho School, Nairobi. Today, for the very first time in Kenya, computers are being introduced into a government school. This Aga Khan Foundation-supported program began as an experiment at the Aga Khan Academy. The project in computer-assisted learning is designed to be a joint learning experience. Both teachers and students are encouraged to use computers in different subjects, solving a variety of problems.
Let's try magnesium sulfate. Just try.
The project has improved the ways teachers teach. Now they encourage discussion and group interaction and are more willing to experiment in the classroom. The students have also welcomed the new technology.
Alkali metals and alkali. Now you have approximately 20 minutes to try and complete your work, right?
It's more interesting, right? You learn more because you are more interested in the subject that you're doing on the computer, not what you've been taught in class. Sometimes teachers tend to be boring. A teacher comes in school, is in a bad mood and lets it all out on the students, right? So a computer, it doesn't matter whether it's in a bad mood or not. It's up to you. Whether in a bad mood, you can punch on the keyboard and all. And that's it. Ends up being more fun.
The Aga Khan Special School in Mombasa was established to meet the needs of the mentally handicapped and the hearing impaired. Early in its history, a decision was made concerning the special school's function.
We are not a residential school, because once we go to the idea of a residential school, we are turning to the point of institutionalizing the children.
Okay, Hamid, spread it with your hands.
Some families might come and dump the child into the residential school and forget the child completely. But when we run a day school, you find the child has to go home at 12 o'clock. The parents have to be concerned with the welfare of the child. That is the biggest difference. Without the cooperation of the home with the school, the whole development of the child will be retarded.
Irfan, put up the volume. I have something here. Let us see what it is. What is it? That's good. It's a pot. Can you say it again? Yes, but with a better voice. It's a pot. That's very good.
At the special school, students learn to read and write and to take care of themselves. They also learn basic skills which will help them find their own place in society. For each student, there is a different measure of success. For one, it might be a new skill or a new word. For another, just a smile.
Can you all say it with me? It's my bag.
Every year we have a number of children who transfer back into a normal primary school. Just recently we had a hearing impaired girl who was so well in the classroom that we thought she would be better off in a normal class. And the latest reports we had was when they had the last examination, she took the 24th position out of 40, which for us was a great achievement.
In many developing countries, there is a critical need for school curricula which is more relevant to the needs of today. In Tanzania, secondary school is taught in English. Many students have difficulty since primary education is in Kiswahili. At Mzizima School, AKES, assisted by the Aga Khan Foundation, developed a new curriculum for improving English reading skills. Teachers are involved in creating the new low-cost learning materials. Each week, students read a new book from their own class library, answer questions based on their reading, and write book reports. The program has demonstrated that the new materials are effective and affordable, and the government is adopting some of them for use in its own schools.
When the children take the books home, the other members of the family get a chance to read it. I was talking to some of the children, and they say even the older brothers and the younger brothers and sisters read. They even read them. So what we're doing really is extend it beyond the school into the home as well.
Another curriculum development program has started for a second core subject, mathematics.
What we're trying to do is to introduce a more realistic approach to the subject. This really surrounds the whole of the teaching of the subject of mathematics. If you teach from the textbook, it's dry. It really is a killingly boring subject. So we try to bring it alive by bringing in as many visual aids, as many illustrations, as many posters as we can, relevant to the topic that we're teaching.
India is home to 300 million people under the age of 15. Children of the urban poor and those from rural areas often lack access to quality education. For these children, Aga Khan hostels, like this one in Hyderabad, provide a home away from home while they attend good primary and secondary schools. But these hostels provide more than just food and shelter. Residents are offered a full range of activities which help to instill self-confidence and a sense of community. Here and throughout the AKES system, fees are partially or totally subsidized.
I think one's got to keep in mind that 70 to 75% of the population in most of Asia and Africa is rural. And bringing education into the home, into the daily living context of the child and the family is a critical component in enabling a family to respond to its daily needs and to start thinking more, perhaps more creatively and more wisely about the way it develops its future.
અમે જ્યારે નાના હતા એટલે આ ડે કેર સેન્ટર નતા એટલે અમને અમારા મા બાપ ખેતરે જતા તો સાથે લઈ જતા કોઈ દિવસ આમથી આમ કોઈ ધૂળમાં રમે માટીમાં રમે અમને વાગી પણ જાય અહીંયા મા બાપની સાથે જઈએ તો ખેતરમાં પણ અમને કંઈક વાગે એ રીતે અમારું જીવન વિતાવતા હતા.
To solve the problem, a network of daycare centers were opened. Urban teachers won't move to poor rural villages, so AKES trained village mothers like Jenna Ben to do the job.
હા કૂતરો કેમ બોલે? રાજુએ પૂછ્યું કૂતરાભાઈ તમે મારી જોડે રમો ચાલો આપણે બંને રમીએ તો કૂતરાભાઈએ કહ્યું કે ના રાજુ હું તારી જોડે ના રમું તું બહુ જ ગંદો રહે છે કોઈ દિવસ નાતો નથી તારા વાળ નથી ઓળાવતો નખ નથી કાપતો તો પછી કૂતરાભાઈ તો ત્યાંથી ચાલતા થયા બિલ્લીબાઈ નથી રમતા કોઈ મારી જોડે નથી રમતું એટલે રામુ એની મમ્મીને પૂછે છે કે મમ્મી ત્યારે મને નવરાઈ નાખ મારા વાળ ઓળી.
These children are in their formative years. Pre-primary education can be the best and most cost-effective investment in their future. The centers also aim to improve health and nutritional standards. Every day, parents prepare lunch in the center's kitchen.
In the beginning, when we started, this program was new for the villagers, so we had to send in all the messages and all the guidance and all the technical assistance from Bombay. But the villagers are very quick to learn, and they manage the centers very, very well. In matters of day-to-day administration, it's just the village committee that does the looking after.
આવતીકાલે આપણે બપોરે 12 વાગે એક મીટિંગ રાખી છે વાલી મીટિંગ અને એમાં ન્યુટ્રિશનનો સબ્જેક્ટ રાખ્યો છે એને બધા વાલીઓને બોલાય આપણે એનો ચર્ચા કરીશું અને
હવે આપણે જોઈએ કે સમતોલ ખોરાકમાં શું શું લેવું જોઈએ તો જોઈએ ઋતુના ફળ અને લીલા શાકભાજી લેવા જોઈએ હવે જે ઋતુમાં જે ફળ અને જે શાકભાજી મળતું હોય એનો પણ આપણે ઉપયોગ કરવો જોઈએ.
They understand the predicament. They understand their environment. They may not understand it as a technical problem the way we do, but our contribution then becomes to work with them in order to help them to clarify the problem and to see the strengths that they already have and help them to mobilize, to release their own strengths in order to achieve their own fulfillment.
Through the children, AKES reaches the whole village. Things are changing, and the change is welcome.
हमने की के काका बापा आ धंधा में किया सा कोई शीशा सो आकड़ियो से आ हमने हमदा एक में हुआ वो करिए ना हमदा का आ बात भी हाल करियो
में जागो रे